Hi, this is Gráinne O'Neill, and I've just done a short video to show you how to tap, and then also how to use tapping on a specific issue that's causing you some emotional upset or a bit of anxiety or a bit of stress. So the first thing is to show you how to tap. So the first point we tap on is this flexury part at the side of your hand, your karate chop point. So just getting the tops of your fingers, just tapping gently here. And this is where we tell the story of what's going on. So it's even though this particular thing happened to me, and then whatever emotion you're feeling about it. So even though this happened to me, I'm feeling this emotion, and I deeply and completely accept myself. And you do that 3 times. And then what you do is you tap on different points around the body with reminder phrases from the story. So if you take 2 fingers, and the first point you tap on is where your eyebrow starts to go, so tapping like that. Okay? The next point is the bone at the side of your eye, the bone just underneath your eye, between the nose and the top of your mouth, your chin, across your chest like this, under your arm, a couple of inches below your armpit, and then the top of your head. So you have your hand like a claw, and just kind of tap lightly around towards the back of your head and just go around a little bit of a circle. You'll be hitting all of the major points. And so you say reminder phrase from whatever the story is, and you also do that 3 times. Okay. So just to give you an example of what happened to me, we had an attempted burglary a couple of weeks ago, and what happened was in bed, heard a thud of some kind of a noise, and then the alarm went off. Rushed downstairs, couldn't see anything out of place, no windows broken, didn't look as if anything was disturbed, so we just thought, oh, possibly it was the wind, we don't know what it was, and we just went back up to bed. And the next morning then when I got up and I went out to the front garden, then I noticed my keys were on the ground, and also the key from my husband's car was missing. So then I realised actually somebody had been trying to break into our house, and now the key of my husband's car was missing. It was kind of the middly bit from one of these plastic keys. And so the first thing I felt was actually I felt violated that somebody had tried to break into our house, into our space, so it just didn't feel safe. So that was the first thing that I tapped on. So this is what I said. So tapping on the side of the hand, even though I'm feeling violated because somebody tried to break into our house. It doesn't feel safe. It doesn't feel like a safe space. And I feel really violated. And I deeply and completely accept myself. So I did that 3 times. And then what I do is reminder phrases from the story, tapping around the body. So feeling violated. Someone tried to break into our house. It doesn't feel safe. Feeling violated. Feeling violated. It doesn't feel safe. They tried to break into our house. Feeling violated. Okay. So do it 3 times around the body. And after each round then I would just test to see, well, do I still feel violated? Out of 10, how violated do I feel, or do I not feel violated? So I did that for a couple of rounds. And then the next thing that came up for me was guilt, actually, because I had left my keys on the hall table. And I'm usually so good at this, but I kind of gotten into a bit of a habit of just dumping my keys on the hall table. And everyone tells you don't leave your keys on the hall table. But they have these big magnet things that go through your letterbox and just scoop up your keys. So I was feeling guilty because it was my fault and that I left the keys there. So that was the next thing that I tapped on. So it was a different aspect of the story. So even though I'm feeling guilty because I left my keys on the hall table, and because I did that, they tried to break into our house. It's all my fault, and I'm feeling guilty, and I deeply and completely accept myself. So again, I did that 3 times. So feeling guilty, it was all my fault. I left the keys on the table. It was all all my fault. I'm feeling guilty. Feeling guilty. I'm feeling guilty. I left the keys on the hall table. And again, did that 3 times around the body. So again, at the end of that round, then I just test to see, well, am I still feeling guilty? Has that guilt gone up or down, or has it gone down to a low enough level, either disappeared completely? So I did a couple of rounds on that, and then what else came up was actually feeling guilty because the key that they had stolen, they stole the inside of the key, which only opens the door, doesn't start the car, but to replace all of the locks in the car was going to cost €1,500. So I was thinking, oh my God, this is all my fault. So it was guilt around the money aspect, whatever. So that was the next thing that I tapped on. So even though I'm feeling guilty, it was my fault. I left the keys on the table, and now it's going to cost €1,500, and I'm feeling really guilty. Really guilty. Really guilty. And I deeply and completely accept myself. Okay, so do that 3 times. And then tapping around the body. I'm feeling guilty. €1,500. That's all my fault. I was so stupid to leave the keys on the table. I should have put them in my bag. Feeling guilty. Feeling guilty. Feeling guilty. Okay. So again, I did that 3 times around the body. And then after each round, I would just test to see, okay, well, where am I on the guilt? And so did it until the guilt had gone down completely. And then I just tested to see if there was any other aspects that were upsetting me. And initially I was kind of worried, well, would they break in again? Would they try to break in again? But that actually was, that didn't, that lasted for a day or whatever. I didn't need to tap on that. And even then I was in the house on my own and I was absolutely fine. So I just tested all the different aspects. There's some other aspects that might be still upsetting me about the story. So hopefully this will help you to do some tapping on yourself, maybe to release some anxiety or some stress that you're feeling. And if you run into any problems, of course, please contact me. Please feel free to contact me, and I'd love to work with you. So thank you for listening and watching. Goodbye.